Well, what about that latest trailer? There is surprisingly quite a lot of stuff to talk about relating to the Capcom Showcase trailer for Sunbreak. But in this quick video, let's briefly discuss on what I think is the monumental decision to introduce this guy into the main series. For a start, let's have a look at some simple facts over this. There has not been a monster that has originated in the Frontier series to hop into the main series since Hypnocris and Lavasioth in Freedom Unite 14 years ago. What makes this even more special is that during a developer interview for Iceborne all the way back in August 2019, the developers stated that Lavasioth and Hypnocris, two monsters that made up the jump from Frontier to the portable series, they were not really designed and developed by the actual Frontier team, but by the main series developers, which pretty much explains why Lavasioth in particular has appeared a handful of times in the main games. However, with Espanas, this thorny boy was made by the Frontier team, so this monster is as exclusive to the Frontier universe as it gets. In fact, you could argue that Espanas is one of the main monsters of the Frontier series. After Lavasioth and Hypnocris, Espanas is the first Frontier flagship that did not appear in the mainline games. And since Season 2 of Frontier, this monster has appeared in every season of Frontier, and its Zenith species as the flagship monster for the second to last version of Frontier. Going a bit off topic, but when Lavasioth and Hypnocris appeared in Freedom Unite, there was alleged backlash from the Frontier community over the fact that two supposed Frontier exclusive monsters have appeared in the mainline game, which basically diminishes Frontier's status as its own standalone game. And yet with Espanas, this monster is almost synonymous with the Frontier series. But with all that aside, after the last installment of the Frontier series, Z Zenith shut down on the 18th of December 2019. Now you have got yourself 12 years of history. 12 years of content that's just sitting there. We're talking about a game, or a series, that predates Freedom Unite, and since then has been building up with content upon content that, quite frankly, dwarfs Generations Ultimate twice over. That is monumental, and with this announcement I feel as though the floodgates are blown out, mate. The Pandoras Box is wide open. Let's say whenever a new Monsanto game is announced, the vast majority of people talk about is who's confirmed or who's returning. That in itself is just like its own phenomena in a way. Well, after the trailer, that phenomena has just evolved into its own light form. Think of it like this: for every new monster in a game coming out, realistically you have monsters from 2 or 3 generations to return to a new game. Now, let's add this to the mix. How about a series with 12 years of existence now becoming a possible pull for the developers to pick a monster to return? Let's run down a few of my favorites. The Crystal Scorpion Akura Vishimu, Oda Garen's grandparents Camu and Ono Ora Garen, I think that's how you're supposed to say it. I mean, you got that bamboo manipulating Elder Dragon Inagami with the cool ass theme music, and that crazy ass Leech Leviathan whose name I can't pronounce, Baruragaru I think it's called. Like, Jesus Christ, the sky isn't even a limit anymore. We are now in space, I tell you. But before we end the video, let's talk about Monsanto World Resurgence. They are a modding team responsible for bringing back Crimson and White Fatalis to Iceborne. Around December of last year, they've announced that they were revamping Abiorugu, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's basically a Frontier monster that's got the same skeleton as Devil Joe, and bringing it back to Iceborne. And when I saw that, I was blown away by 1, the fact that they're crazy enough to bring a Frontier original to a mainline game, and 2, over the realization that the Monsanto community has never really expected a Frontier monster to appear in a mainline game. Before all this, the thought of a Frontier monster appearing in the main series was just pure wish fulfillment. The wall between the Frontier universe and the mainline universe was so evident that it wasn't really realistic for the two series to intertwine. And yet, here we are. With what just happened in the last trailer, this series, this franchise is just about to get a whole lot more interesting.